Russian troops made minor advances in the Zaporizhzhia direction but were stopped by Ukrainian forces, who also managed to partially regain some of the positions they had previously lost. Volunteer and Zaporizhzhia Regional Council member Serhiy Lyshenko shared the information on Espreso TV. In fact, the Russian troops have advanced only slightly. They passed through the remains of the village of Kamianske, which was not large to begin with, and partially entered the nearby village of Plavni, which is essentially a cottage community. But the Ukrainian Defense Forces stopped them there and partially regained their positions. The Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to hold part of the village, Lyshenko said. According to the council member, with the front line in the Zaporizhzhia direction remaining stable for more than 3 years, any Russian advance is sensitive and causes concern among the residents of Zaporizhzhia. That is, the enemy managed to occupy part of the village and advance several hundred meters, possibly up to the kilometer. Lyshenko added. Recently, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky, said that the situation in the Zaporizhzhia direction is under his special control due to the increased activity of Russian troops near the town of Kamianske. There are relatively fewer combat clashes here than in any other area, but the enemy is intensifying its offensive actions in the area of the town of Kamianske, actively using guided aerial bombs, artillery, strike drones, and small assault groups, Syrsky said. The commander listened to reports from commanders on combat operations, current needs, and problematic issues, and gave appropriate orders to resolve them. We are aware of the Russian occupiers' plans. On our part, measures are being taken to improve the interaction of military units and strengthen divisions to ensure the stability of the defense and prevent the enemy from getting closer to Zaporizhzhia, Syrsky added. Recently, Ukrainian forces destroyed Russian tanks in the Zaporizhzhia direction thanks to information provided by the enemy, the partisan movement Atesh reported. As the statement said, Atesh agent, who serves in the 57th Separate Brigade, spotted and quickly transmitted the coordinates of camouflaged T-62 tanks located in the Zaporizhzhia axis. This allowed the Defense Forces of Ukraine to respond rapidly and take appropriate measures to eliminate the enemy equipment. Of particular importance is the fact that more and more Russian soldiers are beginning to realize the criminal nature of the war and are expressing a willingness to cooperate, Atesh wrote.
Flash flood swept away several homes and shops in northern India, killing at least 4 people and leaving many others trapped under debris, officials said Tuesday. According to Associated Press, local television channels showed flood waters surging down a mountain and crashing into Darali, a Himalayan mountain village in the Uttarkashi district of Uttarakhand state. The flood waters inundated homes, swept away roads and destroyed a local market. Authorities said rescuers, including the Indian Army and police, were searching for the missing. India's National Disaster Management Authority said it had requested 3 helicopters from the federal government to assist in the rescue and relief operations as rescuers struggled to access the remote terrain. Officials have not provided a figure for those trapped or missing. India's weather agency has forecast more heavy rains in the region in the coming days. Authorities have asked schools to remain closed in several districts, including Dehradun and Haridwar cities.
ये पाया गया मामा चलेगा सेफ जगह कत्ती मारी कैसे गिरा भाई भागो कितने लोग चले गए यहीं पर यहाँ तो काम कर रहा लेकर मंदिर भर गया
Russia always takes a responsible position on nuclear issues, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Monday after U.S. President Donald Trump said Friday he was ordering the repositioning of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines. According to Associated Press, Trump's order followed comments by the country's former president, Dmitry Medvedev, who has raised the prospect of war online. It wasn't clear what impact Trump's order would have on U.S. nuclear subs, which are routinely on patrol in the world's hotspots, but it comes at a delicate moment in the Trump administration's relations with Moscow. We wouldn't like to be drawn into polemic and comment on that, Peskov told reporters on Monday. We are very careful about any statements on nuclear issues. You know that Russia takes a responsible position, President Putin's position is well known. We believe that all must be very accurate with nuclear rhetoric, Peskov said. He noted that U.S. nuclear submarines are on regular combat duty anyway. Asked if the Kremlin could advise Medvedev to temper his rhetoric, Peskov emphasized that it's Putin who sets the country's foreign policy, adding that in every country, leadership members may have different views of current developments. Asked if Putin would meet Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff, who is set to visit Moscow this week, Peskov responded that, "We don't exclude such a meeting. We are always glad to see Mr. Witkoff in Moscow, we are always glad to have contacts with Mr. Witkoff," he said. "We consider them important, substantive and very useful." Peskov added that dialogue was continuing, and that the U.S. is continuing its mediation efforts to help the settlement of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. These efforts are very important in the context of the ongoing direct Russian-Ukrainian negotiations, he said. The settlement of the Ukrainian problem by political and diplomatic means is naturally preferable for us.
В данном случае очевидно, что американские подводные лодки и так находятся на боевом дежурстве. Это постоянный процесс. В целом, конечно, вот в такую полемику не хотелось бы никак втягиваться, и не хотелось бы это никак комментировать. Мы очень аккуратно относимся к любым заявлениям, связанным с ядерной проблематикой. Вы знаете, что Россия занимает ответственную позицию. Позиция президента Путина прекрасно известна. Конечно, мы считаем, что все должны быть весьма и весьма аккуратны с ядерной риторикой. В каждой стране члены руководства страны имеют разные точки зрения, рабочие, на происходящее событие, имеют разный настрой. Главное, конечно, это позиция президента Путина. Вы знаете, что в нашей стране внешнюю политику формулирует глава государства, то есть президент Путин. Мы всегда рады видеть господина Виткофа в Москве и всегда рады контактам с господином Виткофом. Мы не исключаем возможность проведения такой встречи. Продолжается диалог. Соединенные Штаты продолжают свои усилия по посредничеству в поисках пути украинского урегулирования. Эти усилия очень важны, в том числе и в контексте идущего процесса прямых российско-украинских переговоров. Мы сохраняем нашу приверженность идее о том, что предпочтительным для нас, разумеется, является урегулирование украинской проблемы политикой.